And just like that, we are down to the round of 32. If you're betting around to 32 today, hey, listen, don't place a bet yet. The games tip at noon. We're breaking down the best bets, the trap spots, the angles that actually matter before the lines keep moving, because they are moving. And if your bracket's already busted, good. Now we can focus on making some real money. And round one showed you just can't bet the numbers. The matchups actually matter more. And that's exactly what we're attacking today. Mikey, what is happening? Round of 32.
Man, there's not many things that could get me up early on a Saturday morning, but basketball is one of them. Yeah. We're getting into the good stuff here. You know, it's funny you say that about the bracket being busted. People keep asking me, like, at work and places, like, what's your bracket look like? And what I want to say is, I don't give a fuck what my bracket looks like. I'm betting hundreds of dollars on every one of these goddamn games. I could lose my freaking kid's inheritance, and you're asking me what my bracket looks like.
I know.
Jeez.
The bracket's like a fun thing, just to whatever, right?
Yeah. It's good for the casuals.
Right. And even if you're in a pool where you throw in $20 or whatever, okay, great. But I could care less if I shit the bet on that thing. I shit the bet on my bets and the brackets or whatever. It's
we do enough of that on our own.
And yesterday, a little bit of a different outcome than Thursday. Thursday game's a little bit more exciting. Yesterday, not so much. You had some. I don't know. It was just kind of a different contrast than the opening round games on Thursday. So, but as far as what we got planned for today, lots of stuff on tap today. We'll go through the round of 32. Those games coming up today and tomorrow. Some of the trap games. Tommy Trends is back with the round of 32 trends. we got Bark Bets. We team up with Freedom First Rescue. We got a pup up for adoption, and we'll give our best plays of the weekend. And then we got a clown of the week for you. Stick around for that. And then our final card will drop on X after the show. Mike will go to the lab, put some shit through the fucking computer, spit out final numbers, and we'll post a shit on X so you can get those in before the noon tips. If you want to follow us, if you want to fade us, say whatever, we'll just throw the card up there. And you do with it as you wish there. So that's what we got planned. If you want to drop anything in the chat, what you like this weekend, what you're drinking, I don't know, whatever. We'll scan that, and we'll see what kind of questions we get in there. But just a quick recap. I thought this was interesting. If you did a money line parlay of the favorites yesterday, this is what you would have won.
On how much of a bet? Like a $10 bet? Like what do you know what that was? It's not that important. Either way, you would have won a lot of money.
I mean, you would have won.
Oh, that's probably on like a $1 bet, I would bet.
I think it is, because the moneyline parlay is all the favorites. They didn't say that betting report site didn't say exactly
because that's
what the wager was,
like
but
$100 on that, looking at 100 times that.
Yeah. And just a quick betting recap from yesterday. So favorites, this is the first time, and this is per ESPN, first time since 92, the favorites were 16-0 straight up. Against the spread, they were 12-4, and the overs were 11-5. So from round one overall, favorites were 26-6 straight up. Against the spread, 17-14-1. And the overs were 19-13, and 13 of 32 games decided by 20-plus points. That's the most ever per CBS Sports.
Hopefully,
crazy.
You guys didn't listen too much to Tommy Trends about those unders. Or hopefully you didn't follow me I'm primarily a dog bettor, so yesterday was a bit rough one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Except the casuals who bet all the favorites. They had a hell of a day.
The fucking public won yesterday for sure. Betting those favorites. I mean, this fucking picture shows it, righty. I mean, this is what we're looking at. But what an interesting day.
Tom, did Houston make our card yesterday?
No.
We didn't. I didn't take Houston, did I?
No.
And you know what? I mentioned when we were talking about that in our our podcast we did prior to the tournament, like I said, Houston in the first round, their last 3 favored by more than 20. They won by an average of 12 points over the spread. And I just realized we didn't take them yesterday.
No.
That fucking irritates me. God damn it. I like them too. There's too much going on during the day, and like you're trying to make sure your shit's in, and like, God damn, I passed that one up.
Well, this is why we need a sponsor, so we don't need to work a 9-to-5 job. We can just sit and do this all day and crunch numbers, and then we wouldn't have that problem going back and forth.
I would promise you the podcast would be even better than it is now, because I would actually help Tom. Because right now he's doing this shit all by himself.
We'd have a budget and we could hire somebody to do all this shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Yep. Maybe we'll get there.
Yeah.
So looking at, before we get into the breakdown, we'll go through the games today, tomorrow. Before we do that, Tommy Trends around two stats here. Again, these are just historical numbers, so whatever you want to do with these, whatever. But these are just historical numbers for the round of 32. This is typically where the public, you fade them here against the spread, 29-53-1 historically since 2017. It's only a 35% hit rate on public favorites. Now, double-digit favorites here, 53-2 straight up and 35-20 against the spread. The number 2 seeds are weak against the spread here, 19-26-2. It's 42% hit rate. And the 4 through 6 seeds, now taken out if they played each other, you take out those matchups, and they're 20-5 against the spread. So those are your trends leading into the round of 32 games here. Crazy that we couldn't wait for the tournament to start, and now it started. Now we're already down to 32, and then this weekend we'll be looking at a Sweet 16. It's just,
it gets sad once you get down to like the Elite Eight, because what you realize is you're running out of games to bet on when you start looking at the card, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're not posting 8-9 plays anymore. We're posting like 2 or 3. That's when it starts getting depressing.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because like you don't know, like you had so many games to look forward to. I mean, you had the first 4 games that started Tuesday, so you really had Sunday and Monday Sunday afternoon you had games, but you had really Monday with no games, and then you roll and you already had games Tuesday. Now looking ahead to next week, a lot less games, so we got to get through the first couple of days with no games.
But you know what, Tom? Even then, degenerates like us start to thinking, you know what? Baseball's coming up. We got stuff to bet on.
Yeah. We got fucking horse racing coming up soon. We got the Kentucky Derby coming up. Masters coming up. Like, I know what the hell's going on with golf.
Yep. We got a small UFC card today that I'm not touching, but in a week or two, we got a really good UFC card that we'll have some plays for.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, it's kind of a weak card this week, but let me ask before you. So here's how it looks. Thanks again to Hoops HD for their graphics. We'll borrow this. Why reinvent the wheel when they do it for you? I have the outcomes for the round of 64 games, and then looking at these games heading into the weekend. But Mike, before we get into this, we can do a quick rundown of some of the games yesterday and Thursday. So looking at this weekend slate of games, where do you think the public is about to get buried today, if you had to look at these games?
Well, I think one game that I think people are falling in love with this TCU team, and I mean, I can't blame them. Like, they look good, and they're pretty well balanced, and they have some legitimate good bigs down underneath the basket that could contend with some of these, high-powered offenses of the Dukes, Kansas, Houstons of the world. I just think people are falling in love with them a little too much, especially going up against Duke, who, let's be honest, didn't look all that great in round 1. You have a coach coming out and saying, that it's on me. I got out-coached. My team wasn't prepared. You're going to get Duke's best effort today. And in any other circumstance, I think I would be on this TCU team taking those points. I just have a gut feeling that Duke runs away with this game in this second half. And this game might be, throughout most of the second half, teetering around that 20-point mark. Just a gut feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to take. I want to take. I want to take the other side, but it's hard to bet against Duke when the coach flat out
I
he
know.
comes out and says, "I've been out coached," so you know he's
Yeah.
pissed. I mean, he gave credit to Sienna, but he's like, "I was out coached." So it's like, is Boozer going to have another off game? Doubt it. I mean, thank God his brother picked up the slack. You know,
And then the other one I was thinking about too is I don't know if you remember back when the we were in championship week and High Point had just they were just about to play in their championship game of their tournament, and I said on the podcast that this High Point team gets into the tournament, they could make a little noise because they could score with the best of them.
yeah,
So who do you want to see High Point play in a second round that where they can't get too much, where they can't take too much damage? You want to see them play a team that doesn't necessarily defend all that well and doesn't really put in an effort to defend. And guess what? That's who they're facing. They're facing an Arkansas team that at times doesn't play defense. They don't give 100% effort, and that's including their star Acuff Jr. He takes plays off on the defensive end.
yeah.
I think this High Point team could maybe score enough with this Arkansas team to keep this within the number. I might be back in this High Point team.
Yeah, I feel like that High Point team is probably the best of the mid major teams. They have a little bit more money to spend that they spend on players when you look at the mid major breakdown. So I think that High Point team could do some damage. Miami of Ohio, bye, see ya. You shit the bed there. You should stop running your mouth. But what a lackluster effort from that fucking team after they ran their mouth. Through the MAC and then just come out flat and shit the bed.
I mean, they had a good season though. I mean,
Had a good
let
season,
those kids
but
feel good about themselves.
yeah.
I mean, they should have a little bit of a swagger.
Yeah, this is what happens though. I mean, they talk about they want to play teams, they want to get teams on their schedule. Well, this is what's going to happen realistically. They just can't until you spend more money. You're not going to be able to compete the way NIL has changed the game over the last few years and the transfer portal and these kids just moving around. This isn't 5-10 years ago where they might have been more competitive. Are we ever going to see a 16 beat a 1 again? Probably highly unlikely with NIL and the transfer portal and the mid majors getting left out. I don't know. A lot of Thursday games to me were better than the Friday games. The Kentucky game obviously was a fantastic game. Yeah. That team, what a 180 that team did from December, January, how they were playing. This was like a pipe dream if you would have said Kentucky's going to be here, right? Right, and then the last 30 seconds of that game, wow, what a way to end that game and force overtime. Oh. And then there's a Herb Sendek question. Right.
Yeah. And before we get to that, I just want to say I really want to back that Kentucky team because I really think they have something going here. The problem with this team, if you watch the game, they're so defensively undisciplined. I'll give you a good example. They're up by 7 at the end of the game, and this dude's fouling a guy with a couple seconds left on the clock. Like, if I'm Pope, I'm pulling that guy out of the game, no matter how happy I am. I'm sitting him on the bench and I'm getting in his ear saying, this could cost us in the next round doing something stupid like this. Like they're not the smartest basketball IQ guys in the world. And I'm afraid to bet them for that reason. But let's move on to that last play.
Yeah, the Herb Sendek. So there's a lot of controversy where he's saying he called a timeout. And he looked like he did. Mm-hmm. Here's my take on it. The ref was standing right there. Before the kid even made the shot, he could have gotten the ref's ear and said, hey, if he makes this bucket, I want a timeout. Stand there with his arms folded. You got to be quick. So I understand where there's both sides saying, hey, look, he might have got screwed here. But look, you see it all the time. Coaches are in the ref's ear. Just look, you got to be quicker than that at the end of the game. Call if you knew you had a timeout left. Tell the ref he makes it. Give me the timeout. What are your thoughts on that? Because there's a lot of back and forth.
That's exactly it. It's easier to do that off of a foul shot. Hey, if he makes this, we're going to use a timeout. There's nothing wrong with when we're down at the other end on offense and saying in the ref's ear, "Hey, if they come up here and they score, we're gonna use one here, or watch me, I may use a timeout. At least put eyes on me, I may use a timeout."
Right.
They do it all the time, especially
Right.
at the end of the game when the team's up 3. You let that ref know ahead of time, we're going to foul here. We don't want to give up a 3-point shot, so we're going to foul. So that ref knows to look for it and knows that you're actually trying to foul. So you bring up a good point, Tom. And honestly, if you watch that, Kentucky does a good job of getting the ball out of the basket so quickly and get that ball inbounds. Even if that ref is hearing that as it's happening and the guy's inbounding the ball, he can't call that timeout at that point. So yeah, it's tough on that team, but I don't think there's really anything wrong with that play, and I'm glad it played out the way it did.
And here's an interesting spot then, right? So you talked about that Kentucky team not disciplined on defense. Now you get this Iowa State team, no Joshua Jefferson, probably not going to play.
Whatever happened? I mean, I fell asleep during games last night. I wanted to look up that injury and see actually what they're saying about it. And has there been any ruling?
It just said X-rays were negative. He didn't come back. Left on crutches. So he was seen in a boot. So that's not a good thing when the guy's walking in a boot. Was the boot just precautionary? Is it something more serious?
I didn't even see the injury. Did you actually see? Was it an ankle roll? Was it like
honestly? I didn't see the injury either. I just read the injury report, so I didn't see it either. I tapped out, but I just tapped out early last night. But I just did a quick recap on injuries and.
If anybody's watching the podcast here and has some information on that injury, feel free to
drop that.
Let us know. I'm going to be looking it up, but that's an important injury. I mean, he is the heart and soul of that team.
Right. So if he is going to be out, you could have this Kentucky team moving into the Sweet 16 here. You could get a Tennessee, potentially a Tennessee, Kentucky. Another rematch of those teams in the Sweet 16 round. If Tennessee can get by Virginia, which even though Tennessee, I'm not a Tennessee fan just because I got burnt by them this year. That team looked better than what I thought, and they could beat Virginia. I like how they came out and played. So that could be interesting there, depending if Kentucky can get by Iowa State and the Joshua Jefferson injury. So that's going to be something to look at as we move through the weekend.
I'm seeing the same thing that you said. Basically, just X-rays negative, ankle sprain. There's no other information. We're probably not gonna hear much until like the 12th hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So more to come on that. Another thing that kind of impressed me looking back before getting into this slate here, the Cornhuskers putting some doubters to bed there with their impressive win. And I've been high on Arkansas all year, but I just wasn't sure how they'd come in that spot. I thought Hawaii could test them. Hawaii did not. Arkansas looks like they're ready to roll. And what are your thoughts before I move into any other thoughts from the round one here on your end?
No, you kind of touched on the same thing about I was impressed by Nebraska. They have a really interesting competitive second round game coming up. VCU showed some real moxie and guts there.
I love that.
Being down 19, I think it was, in the second half. And, we all know we were on VCU. I was really surprised by how they let North Carolina get out and take that lead. But I was not a fan of that North Carolina team. And I think VCU didn't play their best game. And the problem is they just run into a team that rebounds the ball and shoots the ball from all positions very well. This Illinois team is dangerous. I'm telling you.
They are. I didn't give them enough credit, to be honest with you.
I thought you didn't. I think I think now that you see that game, you see what they're capable of. They just don't do it all the time.
Right. The consistency is not there. I'm glad you brought up the VCU UNC game because Hubert Davis, if North Carolina doesn't fire Hubert Davis, They got a fucking problem. That guy.
Did you hear
I didn't
his
like
quote
the hire
at the end of the game?
Oh my God. For sake of time, I'm not going to play it just because we got to get into this shit. But he's a fucking idiot. I didn't like the hire to begin with. I thought they could have did better. And this is where I fault UNC, the basketball side. The football side, they don't really care. They hire Belichick. They could care less. This basketball side of things, they like to keep it in-house. Look, why the fuck do you got to keep it in-house? Just hire the best coach out there. I'm sure if we look back when Hubert Davis was hired, that there was far better options they had than Hubert Davis. And then this clown blows a 19-point lead, and his press conference after says it all. And if you're going to bring him back, don't fuck the Caleb Wilson injury. I don't care. You don't get a pass for that. Dude, you're up 19.
You're a blue blood school. One guy shouldn't ruin your season. And for those who didn't hear it, the reporter asked a important question everybody wants to know, especially North Carolina fans. What happened? What happened? Why'd you guys fall apart? And his response was, Nothing happened. We just missed open shots. We missed shots. Are you effing kidding me? Missed shots. You blew a 19-point lead, dude, and you're going to try to make this reporter look like he's asking a stupid question? He should be ashamed of himself.
You know what?
Face the music after the game when you take a loss, like every other respectable head coach does. Like John Shire did in a win. We got out-coached today. We got outplayed.
Yeah. Those are the first thing out of his mouth. He said he gave props to Sienna. And he said, I was flat out. I was out-coached.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Hubert Davis has no fucking clue. Get a clue, dude. The only team I could see you blowing a 19-point lead to is fucking Duke. Because they're right? A healthy Duke team, if you blow a 19-point lead, maybe I'll give you a pass. There's no way in an NCAA tournament you're blowing a 19-point lead. And I think, my opinion is that VCU team, it could have been some nerves. Coming out, they started off a little shaky, right? And that might have got the best of them. But then you could see who was the better coach there. Phil Martelli Jr. out-coached Hubert Davis. He stayed patient and he just let him chip away. I love that matchup with Illinois, right? I didn't value Illinois high enough. And we both like that VCU team. So now I think that's one of the better matchups you get there. I'm really looking forward to that matchup. I hope we get a good game there. And I love to see Phil Martelli Jr. take that team one step further. Just his dad was a great coach. I think that'd be great to see them come out. All right. Let's just go right through this. We'll start with the games today. Unless you got
we're gonna go through these games. We're not gonna for the lack of time, we're going to give you a little bit of insight, but we're going to move through these pretty quickly. I think everybody at this point has an idea who they like and who they're taking. We're just going to give you a couple cents on each one. Yeah.
We'll start it off at 12:10, not noon, 12:10 tip-off on the CBS. St. Louis, Michigan. Latest DraftKings lines. Michigan laying 12.5. Totals 161.5. Mike, what do you think here? What do you,
we'll DraftKings lines.
We'll get to those fuckers. He might be a clown of the week, so stick around for that. What do you think of this Michigan line here?
Yeah, I think it's set where it should be set. I think a lot of people saw St. Louis and how good that team is. They are a good team.
They are a good team.
The problem is they're not playing teams in their conference anymore where athleticism isn't as important. Now you're facing a team where you got 1 through 5 athleticism plus guys coming off the bench, long, lanky. They're not going to be able to get their shots off as easy. This might be a tough one for St. Louis to hang. I think they'll hang for a while by making shots, but I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere through most late second half, this is around a 20-point margin, and St. Louis is making a couple runs to try to get it close, but not sure what I'm doing here, but I can't see taking the points with St. Louis. I really can't.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of figured Michigan would roll through Howard or UMBC, whoever they got. They rolled right through Howard.
What do you think of Robbie Avila? How about his nicknames are the best. Cream Abdul-Jabbar. I love it. That is the best.
Dude. That's the only reason I would love to back St. Louis here, just to see him move on, so we get another round of this kid.
He's so
fucking
talented.
fantastic.
He's so talented too.
Fucking
It just
fantastic.
doesn't look right when you see this dude making these plays.
It's so good. It's so good for basketball. I would love in my heart to take them. I just feel, and you and I talked about this before I came on here. A lot of times it seems like we take Michigan and we get burnt, but I feel just Michigan is out to prove something here. They're kind of sleepwalking through the Big Ten tournament, got caught by Purdue, and I think that was like a wake up call. And I think they're here to like, listen, fuck the Big Ten tournament. We're gonna make some noise, and we're gonna just move through teams. We said it early on in the podcast weeks ago that this Michigan team could just they're 1 through 5, they're loaded and could be an NBA draft pick and just could go right through teams. And I think that's what you get here. I think St. Louis, unfortunately, is their clock is about to expire, and they're going to be sent packing here. But I think you're right. I think that line's set where it is. If anything, I may like the over here just because St. Louis can score. I might be on the over there if I had to choose a side. Next up, fucking Louisville, Michigan State. Michigan State laying 4 in the hook. Total is 151.5. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I got Michigan State with the laying the 4.5. That fucking Louisville team, that stupid fucking coach dancing around in the fucking locker room. You couldn't fucking cover. Fuck you. Sit down. Go home.
Yeah.
I can fuck that team.
All right. I'm not going to let my heart get in the way here. I think you're going to have a lot of people on Michigan State. Izzo in the tournament. Everybody likes Izzo in the tournament. He's a great coach. I don't care for this Louisville team that much either, but I was reminded a little bit yesterday or 2 days ago that Louisville was a good team throughout the whole season, and they had some big wins. They had some blowout games against good teams. I almost forgot who they were for a little bit, and I think you're going to see a lot of money on Michigan State today. I can't stand that Fears. I can't stand him. He's such a good player, but he's such a cocky, cheap son of a bitch, and my heart wants him to lose. But at the same time, my heart's not with Louisville, so I'm going to use my mind here and play a smart bet. I think I am taking Louisville in the points here.
Yeah, I can't with Louisville anymore. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. If anything, I do like the under just because the way Michigan State plays. If anything,
it's going to be interesting. Michigan State's going to try. You're right. Try to slow the game up, and Louisville's going to try to push the game.
Yeah,
so
you're going to be contrasting sides there, and it's who's going to come out ahead, right? Who's going to control the tempo more?
Yeah.
And then we talked about it. The next matchup here. 5:15 CBS. We got TCU and Duke. That line opened at 12.5 and quickly went down to Duke lane 11.5, and the total is 140.5. We kind of touched on this. We'd like to take TCU, but I don't know, Duke. This you get a different Duke team, I think. Here, what do you? It's
not a whole lot to say here. Hold on a second. Who is it? Oh, that's my heart yelling down here to take TCU and the points. But my brain's telling me that I'm going to end up being on the Dukies today, and I hate taking big favorites. I hate taking these blue blood favorites, but I think I'll be on Duke today minus the points.
Yeah. And then we got a 6:10 tip-off on TNT, Texas A&M, Houston lane 10.5. And a total 142.5. That A&M team surprised me. I'll tell you that. I don't know what to do.
Buckyball.
If anything, I like the under just because of the Houston defense. I like the under 142.5. I don't know about that big number. The 10.5 is a big number with Houston.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like the under here too. I don't know if I'll play it, but I think Buckyball. I don't know if you could do that to Houston. They might be a little too athletic, and they have two Usang. They have two good guards that could take Kingston. They could take care of the ball too well. I don't know if you're going to pressure them like you do to most teams and turn them over as much as you need to. Texas A&M needs to turn teams over in order to win. I don't see them doing that as much here. I just don't know if Houston covers 10.5 though. So I'll probably end up passing on this if I'm not on the under.
Yeah. I will say, since we're talking about unders, one other Tommy Trend stat here. Totals of 156 or more in this round have gone 13-6, leaning toward the under there. So that's kind of interesting if you had those bigger spreads. Next game then we have after the A&M Houston, we got Hook 'em Horns and the Zags. That's the 7:10 tip on TBS. I don't know if I trust Rick Barnes here. Zags are laying 6.5, and total. If I can read my chicken scratch, double check. Is it 147.5? I believe it's 147.5.
It's 147. Yeah, 147, 147.
Yeah, I'd like to take Texas here. I just don't know if I can trust Rick Barnes in this spot. But then you have the Huff injury with the.
No, not Rick Barnes. You're not talking Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes is
fucking my
Rick Barnes is with Tennessee. Yeah,
I'm talking fucking Sean Miller.
Sean Miller. I do trust Sean Miller. I like Sean Miller as a coach. But you're right about Tennessee and the Rick Barnes team. That's my problem with them. With Tennessee is I was never really a big Rick. Anyway, yeah. So back to Texas Gonzaga.
I got my T's mixed up. My T's are crossed.
Yeah, I'd like to take Texas. Texas is playing good basketball here, and
they are.
I'm not impressed with this Gonzaga team this year. I think this game is a couple possession game down the end of the stretch. Down the stretch here, I think Gonzaga might pull it out, but I'm not surprised if there's a 4-point win, a 2-point win. Texas will be in this game.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is a good matchup. I think the Zags get bounced here, especially with that Huff injury. I think they get bounced.
Miller is a good tournament coach. His record doesn't always show it, but he's a good preparer and he'll have a good game plan set.
Yeah. Then next up we have VCU Illinois 750 tip on CBS. The line there, Illinois laying 11.5, and the total 151.5. To me, that's a pretty big number for that VCU team. I don't know. I like the VCU and the points there. If I had to take a side, just I know Illinois is good and I undervalued them, but I just feel like this VCU team coming back from 19, that says something. I think they're playing well. What do you think about this one here?
Yeah, I want to be on. I want to be on VCU here. We'll need them to muck this game up a little bit, make it a little dirty and ugly. That's their identity. If they could do that, they'll keep this close enough to get the cover.
Yeah. Then after that, that's an 8:45 tip. Vandy and Nebraska. Nebraska getting 1.5. Total 151.5. We touched on a little bit with the Huskers here. I like Nebraska in this spot, to be honest with you.
I'm right there with you. A lot of Vandy love, and rightfully so. They look great in their championship game. They look good in the first round. I think Vandy's fresh in people's heads, and I think they are sleeping a little bit on this Nebraska team. I like the Huskers here, too. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and then the nightcap here, High Point, Arkansas. It's a 9:45 tip on TBS. Arkansas laying 11.5. Big total here, 168.5. We talked about this one a little bit too. A High Point, they could keep it interesting. If anything here, I like under that total. It's a big number at 168.5. Although Arkansas doesn't play defense, but what do you think here? If one way or the other,
you and I talked about this a little bit off the air before we came on. High Point could score with the best of them, and at times you don't get a great defensive effort from Arkansas, even from their main player, Darius Acuff Jr. There's defensive sets that he takes off. And this High Point team will score enough against Arkansas to keep this game somewhat close. If Arkansas doesn't come out and play a solid defensive game, we're going to see a high-scoring game, and we're going to see High Point within that 11.5 points. There's a good chance I'm on High Point.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're just joining in and we're looking at the round of 32, breaking down the games for today, for Sundays, any traps, best angles, best bets here. We're breaking out all that down for you, and then we'll get the full card for you on X after the show. Let's move into the Sunday slate of games here. So tipping off tomorrow, first game tomorrow, we have Miami and Purdue. Purdue laying 7.5, total 147.5. I like the Canes here. I just that Purdue team. I don't know. I'm not a Purdue fan. I feel like Miami could keep it interesting here, and I think Purdue could get bounced here. But I don't know. I was always fading Purdue. But what do you think here?
I don't see Purdue getting bounced here, but with that being said, I don't know if they cover the 7.5. I think it's going to be right around there. I don't think Miami has the offensive power to beat Purdue. I think Purdue's going to get baskets. I think Purdue's going to defend somewhat well enough to keep Miami at bay, but good chance I won't be on this game either way.
Yeah, and then we got a 2:45 tip on CBS. We got Kentucky, Iowa State. This is the Joshua Jefferson injuries. Obviously, we talked about that. It's going to play a factor here. That line right now, Iowa State, small number here, lane 4.5 and 145.5. I'll tell you what, I don't know. I got to be on that Kentucky team. Not knowing the Jefferson injury, maybe that plays. Maybe we back off and don't put that. I don't know. It's as of now without Jefferson. I like Kentucky. If he plays, this might be like a game time decision where it's like a late ad.
I could only assume that line at that number is reflecting that he is not going to play. That's what I mean. If you could, I don't have it in front of me now, but you could check KenPom what this game would be at equal strength on the neutral court, and I don't think it's -4.5. I think you're looking at more like Iowa State -7, more like 7.
You hit right on the KenPom line is 7, and he's got the total. He's got the total over that number. He's got it slightly over at 147.
Okay, so that tells me that Jefferson is worth like 2.5, 3 points on a neutral court, and that's a lot. You know what? I hope he doesn't play at this point, and I hope that line comes down a little more. I think I'm going to be on Iowa State because I think that team, even without him, is defensively sound enough and well coached that they cover. I think they cover this spread. Although I like what Kentucky's doing, just can't trust those Kentucky kids.
Yeah, the Iowa State team is more disciplined. And we talked about that Kentucky team on defense being a little bit undisciplined, especially the end of that Santa Clara game with dumb fouls. I think you're right. If this line does come down, Iowa State's definitely the play there. Now, if Jefferson plays, that makes it interesting because what's his injury like?
The other way.
Right? Yeah. So who knows? Because that number could get inflated then if he's playing. So that's definitely something to watch game time. That could be a late ad tomorrow on our card. And then 5:15 CBS, we got St. John's, Kansas. That line, Johnny's laying 3 in the hook. Total 140.
Interesting game. How about it? This is one of the most interesting games.
Yeah. Is Peterson going to take the day off or is he going to play? I mean,
he hasn't taken a day off since people talked about it. In fact, that lit a fire under his kid's ass.
It did, actually.
He can score, man. I was impressed. He can score. Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
This is a test for St. John's. Not gonna lie, dude. I like Kansas here catching that 3.5. If we get Peterson playing the way he's played since people were talking about him taking off, he keeps that rolling. Bill Self, it's hard to bet against him. I don't know
and St. John's identity is to get up in your face and bully you. That they punk you. That's what they do. Yeah. They get up and bully the smaller, weaker teams. Not going to be so easy to do this against this Kansas team who are just as athletic as the St. John's players. This game you could almost. I mean, it almost is a pick'em when you look at it, 3.5 points. Like this game's going to come down to a possession or two, I think, and I might take the points and have the almost as good team with some points in my pocket.
Yeah. No, I like that play there. I trust Bill Self a little bit here. Now Rick Pitino with some of his past teams, I would have been on Rick Pitino, trusting him. This Johnny's team, I don't know. I just like Kansas in that spot. 6:10 tip Philadelphia. This is the Rick Barnes Tennessee. Get my team.
This line though tells you everything you need to know.
Oh yeah, Tennessee laying a 1.5, and the total. Check me if I'm at 137.5. I can't read my chicken scratch.
137. Yep.
Yeah, 137.5 here. I don't know. Rick Barnes just. I don't know what to make of this team. Although the Wahoos didn't look so impressive either. I thought I'd get more from that team. This is a tough game.
Just a bad matchup for Virginia. Like there's teams that Virginia matches up well against and they're big favorites. When you get a Tennessee that is almost like a Virginia team size-wise and more athletic, that's why you see the 23rd team against the number 9 team favored by 1.5, which is a bit odd. That's because I agree with the lines makers here. I think Tennessee should be favored. And I'm most likely going to be on Tennessee, and I hope Rick Barnes coaches a good game because I do not want to lose this bet because he gets out coached.
Yeah, I somehow see. I like the way Tennessee attacks the glass. I mean, they'll out rebound the shit out of you. I mean, they are physical, and they'll just the second chance shots here. I like them as a more physical team down low and dominating down low on both ends, on defense and offense. I just like them to match up, have that advantage on that matchup with Virginia. So yeah, hopefully Rick Barnes does not get out coached because I do like Tennessee as a favorite there. Even though I got fucked by them earlier, I think I like Tennessee.
You gotta put those feelings aside.
I'm back on the bandwagon with the Vols.
Good. Next round, you'll be betting Purdue. You'll see probably a totally different side of Tom.
Yeah, like, Boilermakers. Give it to me.
Yep.
7:10 tip on TBS. That's Iowa, Florida. Florida laying 10.5, 145.5 is the total there. That's a big number.
Big number.
It's a really big number. The Iowa team impressed me. I gotta be honest with you. They're probably the least favorite team out of the Big Ten that I like coming in this tournament, and they impressed me. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this game, if I'm going to do anything. To me, that's just a big number for Florida, but all Florida just fucking rolled yesterday. That game was just a snooze.
They did roll. They did roll. Everybody saw it, too. I'm going to be on Iowa plus the 10.5 points here. There's going to be limited possessions in the game, not as many possessions for Florida. I mean, Florida scored all those points because, I mean, if you go look at how many possessions they had, it was ridiculous. Yeah. Iowa's smart. They're going to limit the possessions. The less time Florida has the ball in their hands, the less likely they're going to score. Iowa doesn't turn it over a whole lot. I think Iowa stays within this 10.5. I like this game a lot, actually.
Yeah. And 7:50 tip on True TV. We got Utah State and Arizona. Arizona laying 11.5. Total 155.5. This one's got to sting a little bit. Nova didn't make it. Yeah. Got Utah State advancing here. I don't know. This Arizona team is fucking good. This team. Utah State could get fucking rolled here.
Agree.
That's a big number. And it's not just me because I wanted Nova to win.
Me too. I'm not being salty here. I'm just being. The reality of the situation is I like the Utah State team. I love the Utah State coach. They run great sets. They move the ball really well. Just isn't going to work against trees. Villanova has no size. Now you're going in there against 3 big guys, 4 big guys. Like this game has a potential to get ugly because Utah State doesn't have many scores either. So I could see this one covering very easily.
Man, this Arizona team with Koa Pete, they are a different team, man.
Yeah.
When he came back, they are just firing on all cylinders. I like that team a lot.
Me too.
8:45 tip. Philadelphia, we're not going, although this is an interesting matchup. If you had UCLA laying 5.5 yesterday, you got cooked. And they're taking on UConn. A little bit of an interesting game there. And then at the end, UConn pulled away. Terrace Reed, man, what a fucking game from that kid. Jesus Christ. He balled out yesterday. Connecticut here laying a 3.5, total 137.5. I don't know.
That's so low. I always thought UConn would be a 5-6 point favorite, to be honest. But I think odds makers see what I see, that UCLA can match up with UConn pretty well. UCLA on the defensive end is going to give them a little bit of fits. It comes down to, is UCLA going to be able to score enough? Will they get the scoring? To keep this close. Not sure what I'm doing here. If any, it's UCLA or nothing for me.
What scares me is UCLA blowing that lead late yesterday. Lit a fire. You know, Mick Cronin was fucking losing his shit in the locker room. Yeah. And I think that team comes out a little bit different today. Maybe they're caught a little off guard yesterday. I don't know, but we said it. Mick Cronin builds these teams for the tournament, and I agree with you. It's UCLA or nothing here.
And let's be real. I mean, UConn won 82-71 against a Furman team that was pretty much in that game from start to finish. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if UCLA actually wins this game.
No, I would not be shocked either. And I think that Furman, I think that line closed like 20.5 or something. I mean, that was a big, UConn was getting a big number, and they didn't cover. And then the nightcap here tomorrow, Texas Tech, Bama. This is interesting. 9:45 TBS. Bama laying 1.5 points, 164.5 is the total. This Texas Tech team has impressed me. No Toppin. They're still scoring. They're keeping it competitive. Dude, I don't know, man. Bama's good. They got good guard play. This Texas Tech team, I kind of feel like I got to take Texas Tech here. Just my eyes are telling me Texas Tech because they're playing for something here.
My eyes are telling me the same exact thing, Tom. Same exact thing. Yep. I agree with you. Like, it's hard for me to get behind Bama when they don't play the best defense in the world. And when you're getting a sound defensive effort out of Texas Tech, you put money on them. At least this team, they rebound well, they guard well, they hedge well. They just have to be able to score the ball tonight. And if they could score the ball, this game, it'll go back and forth. And I wouldn't be surprised if Texas Tech actually plays with a lead for a good part of this game.
Yeah, that might be something where you take you take Texas Tech first half line, whatever that is, jump out ahead on that. It's an interesting spot. I like that there,
man. We just rolled through Saturday and Sunday.
It's a round of 32. That's it.
Fuck yeah.
Oh shit, that is it. Now it's that's a wrap for the round of 32. We got Bark Bets. These are the best plays that we have for the weekend. This is the best segment that we have every week. We say it all the time. We work with Freedom First Rescue to help get one of their dogs adopted, get them a forever home, and also we give our best plays of the week, the picks we can't stop barking about, picks we're barking loudest about, whatever you want to call it. This week, though, the pup up for adoption this week is Queenie. That is the dog this week who's up for adoption here. Before we get to Queenie and her story, Mike, what do you like for your Bark Bet here this week?
Well, first of all, Queenie's a little upset that her Queens team lost, so she's feeling a little under the weather. So I'm going to give her a winner for today. My Bark Bet for today is going to be Texas plus the 6 points against Gonzaga.
Yeah, I like that. My Bark Bet is VCU getting 11.5 against Illinois. I like that VCU team. Hoping that Phil Martelli Jr. can at least keep it close, maybe even get a dub and catch Illinois off guard. But I like VCU there. So, Mikey, your Bark Bet, Texas getting 6.5. I'm on VCU getting 11.5. And Queenie, who is up for adoption from Freedom First Rescue. This is quite a story. Story's a little tough, but this dog is all love. She was found wandering with a collar and a leash still on. Clearly was someone's dog, but no one ever came to claim her. She's about 2 years old, around 50 pounds, perfect size, great energy, loves kids, great with other dogs, and she's got that goofy, playful personality that'll keep you laughing. She's great around cats, too. A little shy, no issues. Walks great on the leash. She's crate trained, fully vetted. She's ready to go. Hey, look, bottom line, Queenie, she's the total package. So if you're thinking about adopting a dog, this might be your sign. Go adopt Queenie and change her life. And, honestly, she probably could change yours too. FreedomFirstRescue.com. Take a look at the dogs they have up for adoption there. And also the Facebook page, Facebook.com/FreedomFirstRescue. They'll post community events and other dog pics there. Take a look at Queenie, FreedomFirstRescue.com.
I just realized something. You got your dogs up there in the Bark Bets picture segment now. I'm feeling a little jealous. I'm gonna have to send you the picture of Karma and Kingston to get up there with those two. Put them all up there, a big family.
We got the dog family on there.
Yeah,
we'll have Chat GPT redo the fucking graphics.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Tom and I are both dog lovers. We'll do anything for our dogs.
Yeah, I love dogs more than people.
Yeah.
I say it all the time.
And if you need some proof, how about $70,000 worth of chemo and radiation for my past 2 dogs that had cancer, and that's no joke.
I would sell off everything
Yes.
I own. I would be homeless to fund a dog's vet bill. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
For sure. And now it's Clown of the Week time. This is
This one's
This is a
near and
doozy.
dear to my heart.
we don't like taking corporations per se, because we could have given it to, there's a couple athletes, we could have given it to Holloway from Alabama for getting popped for weed, but it was just marijuana. Who cares? We hate giving it to corporations, but in this instance, we had to do it. I mean, DraftKings, Clown of the Week. This is just diabolical what happens. And we told you guys this, we tell you this a lot, that this happens more than what you think, where these books will start limiting plays. And this is happening more frequently now. They'll start doing it to even just a casual bettor if you get on a streak. They don't like paying. Mike, go ahead. Tell the story why DraftKings got the nominee here.
Yeah, I'll make this brief. A few years ago, I had multiple sports books, as I do now. DraftKings was one of them. And I was winning in college basketball. I typically, at the end of the basketball season, I'm usually in the green, not the red. This particular year, I was having a really good year. And just throw this out there because it's important. I don't really like telling people what I bet, but on average, like, I'm not betting thousands of dollars on games. It's typically a $500 bet at times. Maybe if I really like some and I have a good bankroll that year, it's a $1,000 bet. Anyway, DraftKings decides if you're winning too much, they're going to limit you. They don't call you. They don't send you an email. You just go to put a play in, and I'll show you what you're going to get. So I haven't used DraftKings in a couple years, and I figure time has passed now. So I'm going to go deposit some money in here and try them. 2 years have passed. Well, I went to try to put a bet on Villanova the other day, and we're going to show you what I got back from them when I went to make this bet. So that is my wager.
Here's a screenshot.
As you could see, I went to make a $500 bet, and they said, we cannot take that bet, but we'll allow you to bet $35. I can't even see the cents, Tom, but what?
3508.
They're going to allow me to make a $35
Where do you come up with
bet
the 08?
08 cents. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, if DraftKings would take a look, they probably have taken money from me total throughout all the years. And I don't know that for sure, but listen, I'm not taking them for hundreds of thousands of dollars. They limited me, and they've kept that limit. Like, even 2 years have passed. Now, it's happened at other sports books, and some time passes, and then you're back in there betting what you want again. But not these freaking clowns. I can't believe it. It's irritating because they'll let you lose as much as you want, and they don't send you little notes and messages saying you might want to bet a little smaller. We don't want to take all your money. But this is irritating to me, and I find like it shouldn't be allowed. I mean, it's their company; they could do what they want, but I want to get it out there. Let other people know. You're not going to get, this doesn't happen as quickly from FanDuel. It doesn't happen as quickly from Caesars. It doesn't happen as quickly from BetMGM, at least in my experience. Maybe other people have different experiences. But yeah, this pissed me off, and that's why they are the Clown of the Week.
Yeah, I just think it's funny where they come up with 8 cents, 3508. When you said that, I'm like, where the fuck are you coming with? We can just make it a round number like 35.
It
3508
must be a percentage or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to know. DraftKings, if anybody from DraftKings watches this episode here and you have an idea that want to send me an email, Tom, where can they send us some information about this?
It would
can
be
they reach us?
offthehooksportspod@gmail.com. Send it there.
And we'd love to have somebody on if you want to discuss this and explain to me why. Maybe there's legitimate reasoning to this, and I'm all ears. I'm all up for the debate. I'm all up to just even hear you guys out.
Well, the thing is you haven't used DraftKings for a while, which is odd that they just
years
throttled your fucking limit here and just were like, no. Like, you know,
and you know what's funny? I deposited money in there, and then once I saw this, obviously I didn't make the bet, and I wanted to withdraw it. And I thought it was gonna be hard to withdraw the money, and they'd hold on to it for a while. The minute I hit withdraw, within seconds, that bounced right back to my bank account. It got processed immediately, which was strange. So they were like, "We don't want you," basically telling me they don't want me.
Yeah, because normally they would put up a fight and say, or tell you we can only withdraw a certain amount or some shit. It's just crazy because you hear these stories more and more. If you go on YouTube and listen to other podcasts or other gamblers who are wagering a lot more, it happens quite a bit. DraftKings definitely clown of the week, and we'll see who makes it next week on the bus. So they get a seat on the bus. But we'll be up for DraftKings coming on and explain. So
FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, Bet 365. Any of you guys want us to clown DraftKings a little more, we'll do it every podcast. Just come on and tell us, work out a deal with us, and we'll be your favorites here, and we'll push you guys, and we want to work with someone.
We're not asking for a lot. A sweatshirt.
Give us some swag.
Oh shit! Speaking of, before we get out of here, I do want to pull this up because this is the first annual Off the Hook Sports Pod bracket pool. Up for winnings is whatever we can find around the house, in the junk drawer, or the trunk of our car, or whatever. The latest, let me pull up the latest standings here to see who is ahead here. Jory Osborne is in the lead here in the first annual Off the Hook.
You know what we'll do, Tom?
Pool.
Whoever wins this, we'll pull together and get a Off the Hook T-shirt made for somebody. Not the biggest thing in the world, but we could take that to a graphic printer and spend a couple bucks, you and I, and we'll send somebody a T-shirt. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yeah, we can definitely do that for their time and effort for that. So a T-shirt up for grabs. We'll do something fun here. Maybe we'll get some other T-shirts made. We'll do like a batch of them and we'll give them out to people. Yeah. Why not? What the fuck? It's a tax write-off.
Sounds good.
Mikey, that's it. That's the round of 32 breakdown. Clown of the week. Bark bets. Again, Texas getting 6.5. VCU getting 11.5. That's what we like. Queenie at freedomfirstrescue.com up for adoption. Check her out. If we
and fuck DraftKings.
Fuck DraftKings. If we helped you find a bet, like and subscribe. Mike, what do you tell the people? Do their little
tell
rant?
A friend, tell an enemy. Subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe again. Helps our numbers, and we appreciate the viewers that we do have. So thank you guys.
Yeah, maybe a T-shirt for some of those people when we get a batch run of those. So, definitely like and subscribe if we helped you at all. We're here every week doing this. We'll be back next week, probably like Wednesday, Thursday, depending on the schedule of the games when they come out. Probably Wednesday, but we'll definitely keep you guys up to date on the Sweet 16 as we move in there. At OTH Sports Pod is where you'll find the plays on X. Mike's going to go to the lab and give me those plays, so you will have those shortly, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, guys, have a good one. Get in front of the TV.
We ain't going down easy. We ain't going down